Good morning, I'm Tracy Obarski. Welcome to the Springfield In-Town Library. This morning we have a program, as many of you have heard, our Springfield MOOver, the In-Town Springfield Route, is switching to a microtransit system. I know a lot of you probably have questions. This will be the first of 2 meetings. We will also have one on Tuesday night next week at 6 p.m. And we're going to start
over here.
We're going to start over here with Randy.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for coming. We have a great turnout today. Thank you for your interest. Randy Shoemaker, CEO of Southeast Vermont Transit. Christine Howe is our general manager. She's going to talk about how to book through the app. And Sarah, this is tough to use. Sarah Campbell is our program manager, and she'll talk about the portal and how to make reservations. And I think it's Christine will also talk about how to make reservations by simply calling us into Sarah's office. So thanks again for coming. A week from Monday is our big day, the 17th of November. Starting at 6 in the morning, we're going to really change the way we deliver service in Springfield. I don't know how many of you have heard from your clients, friends, neighbors, riders. So far it's been very supportive. I know change is difficult, but if we give the system a few weeks, I think we're going to see huge benefits from it, and as we proceed over time, even more. So again, thank you for coming. Can we just have a quick show of hands of how many riders are here today? A few riders, okay. Okay, and can we go around the room just briefly and just introduce yourself and what your affiliation is? Chief.
Jeff Burnham, Springfield Police Chief.
Steve Maines, regular rider of the In-Town Route.
Alan Englander, fairly regular rider of the In-Town Route, as well as the shopper shuttle over to Claremont.
Great.
Michelle Aaron, agency in town, who supports folks that ride.
Great.
Sarah, I also work for an agency in town, Lincoln Street, Inc., where we are hoping to support some of our folks to use this service.
Emily Rondo, I'm representing from the Family Services Division of DCF.
Caroline Marsh, also for Family Services at DCF.
Nancy Sherlin, I work for DCF.
Can't hear it at all. Can't hear what you're saying. Could they have a microphone too?
Just introducing themselves.
We can pass the microphone around. Just a quick question, is there anybody left working at DCF today?
I don't need this. I'm Matt Reserve. I'm an employment and training consultant across the street at the Vermont Department of Labor.
My name is Jacob. I'm from HCRS.
I am from Lincoln Street, also.
I'm Alicia, I'm also from Lincoln Street, I'm a service coordinator.
My name is Roxanne Shelton, and I had a stroke 20 years ago. I'm a survivor, and I'm in a wheelchair now, and I ride the MOOver as well.
I'm Kyle. I'm also from Lincoln Street.
Casey and Darlene Strand, and our daughter, we hope, will be a rider.
I'm just hoping to get a ride now and then.
Yeah, I'm George Morris. I usually take it to the local ride room.
Great. Okay, great. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to walk across the street and see if I get some copies made. We had a copier problem at work this morning, but the ladies have handouts for how we're going to book things. But Christine, you're going to start about
Sure. Just give a brief.
phone stuff, and maybe Sarah can go next and give me time to go get some more of those. Thanks again for coming, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. So, Christine Howe, General Manager. So first off, if you're familiar with the In-Town Route, as you all know, that on November 17th, it's going to transition to Microtransit, and for Microtransit, you do need to have a ride scheduled or reserved. This is not going to be a situation where you can flag down the bus, and it's not going to have bus stop signs, so it's a little bit of a different way of riding. So the easiest way for anybody to book a ride is to call our office during our regular hours. We are going to be able to book rides starting next Monday, the 10th, which is a week prior to when the service starts. And that'll give everybody some kind of time to call in, get used to it, set up your account, maybe ask questions, or just call in and ask questions, and they can kind of walk you through things. We have phone number is 808, and everybody should have gotten a brochure in the mail if you live in the town of Springfield. Okay, so some people have. We dropped the bulk mailing last week. We know it takes some time sometimes, so we do know of some people that have received it. So it's out there, it's coming, so hopefully you guys get that by the end of this week. All of our contact information is on that little brochure, and some are going to be also distributed by the chamber throughout the town, so grab one if you see one. Our phone number is real simple. It's 802-460-7433. Should be option 6 for Microtransit. So you don't have to listen to the whole menu if you don't want to, but if you want to, you can as well. And when you push that button, it gets you to one of our many dispatchers. We have 8, and they are all very familiar with Microtransit and how to book it. First time you call, they will ask some basic information, your name, your date of birth, where you live. And then they'll walk you through how to book a ride, what time you want to be somewhere, where you want to go, etc. So that's the easiest way to do it. It's Monday through Friday from 7:45 to 5 p.m. The phones are live. Okay, so that's the first and easiest way. We recommend that unless you're technology savvy and you want to try the app and the portal, which we're going to walk you through. I'm going to let Sarah go with the portal first, the online portal, unless there's a question for me before I pass the mic. Yes, Chief.
The time, is that for the phones or is that for the bus?
The 7:45 to 5 is for the phone. The Microtransit runs Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you can book a ride for a 6 a.m. pickup. You can book a ride for a 6 p.m. drop-off. All the way through the day.
Thank you.
All right. Sure.
So Kristen's going to hand out the online portal. So we have the two options. We have online portal that you can use on any desktop, and then we have the app, which you can use on any smartphone or tablet. On the online portal, you'll see, when you get your handouts, you're going to see that it's printed front and back. Just so you don't miss steps, because I did that when I was looking at it. I will say that when you're using either or the online app or the portal, when you're setting up, make sure you write down your login ID, because once you sign up, you can't change it. It's like an automatically populating thing, and it's a series of numbers. So it's not always easy to remember, and it's very hard for us to reset it. So when you're logging into the portal, you're gonna follow the instructions on here. It'll ask you your name, birthday, the address that you live at, if you have any mobility needs that the driver needs to be aware about, how many passengers are gonna be riding with you. You can always take somebody with you if you want to. If you do choose to have a passenger go with you, we are going to ask if it's an adult or a child. So that's something you'll have to click into. But when you're doing this, you are going to pick your pickup spot. So you're going to put the address that you're at and you want to get picked up in. And then you'll put the address that you want to go to. So this service, like we said, isn't going to have bus stops. It's going to be more of a curb-to-curb service, and you can get closer to your destination. You'll pick the time that you want to get picked up, and then the time that you want to get to your destination. If you pick a time and somebody else has that time, it'll pop up and saying that this time is not available. We suggest that you just move it by 3 to 5 minutes to see if that gets you the time that you want. So the service is going to be set up to only go in town Springfield, like in the service, the town limits. Including North Springfield. So if you pick something that's outside of what we've mapped, it's going to tell you that that's not something that you can do. You can book standing orders, so if you have a job or something that you go to every day or like once a week, you can book that ongoing. And it's been a while since I got dates.
How far in advance?
So you can book as little as 30 minutes up to, I think you can book out for a month at a time. Oh, so, we didn't know the pages on that either. So when you're in your pamphlet that we just handed out, there's a customer registration, or consumer registration. We didn't have the pages, I'm sorry. You can see that it'll say first name, last name, date of birth, your email address, and a phone number. This service, you can get a phone call saying, hey, we're gonna be like there in 5 minutes. It's gonna ask you for your home address, it'll set you up with a user ID, and then you can pick your password. Okay?
So did you say that there was gonna be a reminder phone call?
Yes, so if you put in a phone number, the service calls you like 5 minutes before your car gets there.
Automatically?
It should, yes.
It's an option.
Yes, it's a service option, so if you put it in, it should call you, yes. Then on the next page, after you fill in your registration stuff, you'll see that it's all highlighted. The reason why the user ID is green is because it will pick the user ID number for you. Please write that down and put it someplace safe. On the next page, you'll see if you successfully do this, it'll say your registration is successful. And then, it's very weird. Then it'll bring you back into the login screen where you put in the ID that it gave you and your password. And then once you've logged in, it will say, where would you like to go? And this is where you're gonna add your pickup location, where you are, and where you wanna go. And the trip time is, you can pick between what time you wanna be picked up or what time you wanna get there. And then you pick the trip date, and you're gonna say if it's a round trip, so if you only walk one way there, you would just click, book trip, sorry. And if it's something that you're gonna set up for a recurring trip, you can click the recurring box and it will save that trip for you as you've booked it for as long as you need it to be. It'll have like a calendar come up and you can tell it how long you need that trip. On the next page, once you've booked a trip, you can see what it will look like all filled in. And then, what's this one? This one. No, this one is saying that the funding sources in error, which it won't be because you can't pick a funding source because it's just Micron. Yeah, so you'll get a pop-up box that says funding source and you just pick, it'll automatically fill in with the micromove. We are trying to figure out who's using the service for what, so it would be helpful for our information if you could put in if it's a medical trip or if you're going to work or if you're just using it to go shopping or something like that, just so that we have some statistics on what it's being used for. Yep, a little bit. And then if you successfully book a trip because you've got a time that isn't already picked, or you've got an address that's in the service area, there'll be a pop-up box that says, trip booking in progress, please wait, and it will be green. Don't click out of that until it says that it's accepted, because it will delete your trip out. And then you will see that the trip book was successful, and it will give you a confirmation number for that trip. You don't have to write that down because it will be in your trip history. And then you can check your trips out by in the right hand corner at the top of the screen, you'll see it says hi in your name. Once you've registered, it will say your name, and you can see trips, my trips, profile, and log out. If you want to see what you have booked, you can go to my trips, and it will show you everything that you have booked, and from there you can edit those trips. You can cancel trips that you don't need anymore. You can change the time. If you need to change the destination, I would suggest just canceling the trip and booking another one. You can edit your profile, so you can edit your name and your email address and your contact number, and you can also edit any if you need somebody to go with you regularly, you can add that there. Any mobility things that the driver needs to be aware of, you can edit that in your profile. Over the round trips, you can book. So the way the system works is, all trips go in one way unless you tell it that you need to ride home. So if you say, pick me up from home, bring me to Shaw's Plaza, it's gonna just do that. It's not gonna think, hey, this person needs a ride home. So if you want a ride home, you're gonna either book a round trip while you're booking your first trip, or you can wait if you have the app and book when you're done. Again, it could be like a 30-minute wait depending on how busy we are. Yeah, and you call too and set up a ride that way too. So when you're setting up ongoing trips, recurring trips, you'll get a pop-up asking what days you want to go. You just click on what days. It'll ask you what time for those days that you want to get picked up and what time you want to return. And then it will ask how many weeks you want to do it and when your recurring trips will start and when you will no longer need those. Again, once you've put all that information in, you'll see another pop-up box. Wait until that turn screen that says you've successfully booked those trips before you close out of it.
For the return time, is that the time that the transit would pick you up?
Yes, for the return time is what time the transit would be there to pick you up, yes.
I know you said the calling will be open on Monday the 10th. Will this portal also be open on Monday the 10th?
Yes, everything should be open Monday the 10th. We just got off a meeting this morning about it. In the back there's a error message, what error messages will look like when something is wrong. It will say error message, it will be red. It will either say time unavailable or address outside of service area. And then there's another overview of what the trips that you've booked would look like if you have multiple trips. That's it for this. Any questions? Yes.
I have lots of questions, but I'm not going to monopolize the time. What happens when you miss the ride?
What happens when you miss the ride? You would have to book another ride. Cause
how long do you wait? Like, what is the time frame that they would wait before they're not there anymore?
there is no time frame for waiting. You show up. If you're not out, we continue because the service is very busy. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. we deal with a population that doesn't have technology or phones, and how do we set that up for them?
So how do you set up for somebody that doesn't have technology or a phone?
Yep.
So that's a really good question. We're actually going to be helping communities like that set up like a generic place. Like we'll take the library, for example. If the library was helping people book rides, they would have their own username.
Okay.
And the library would then book the ride, and there's a little place for comments. They would just put that person's name there,
Sure.
and then they could book a ride for somebody.
I think that's great because I can think of about 4 agencies right off the top of my head that would be helpful for, to include us. So,
Yeah, I was gonna say the Department of Labor, with our computers, we have a public phone. So I would love to get us a username, but we can also help folks sign up for their account. If they're challenged, write down the number so people can always use our office to book rides.
Yeah, and I would be very happy to help anybody set that up.
Chief, do you know the other agencies that would?
oh, sure.
do this?
It's going to be Turning Point Recovery Center. It could be HCRS. Could be the hospital. The police department.
Family services.
Family services. TCF. We're struggling with that right now, and this is an answer to a lot of our problems. So.
We had talked about setting up it's a portal, it's called. And we were gonna set one up with Springfield Housing Authority.
Yep.
Or the Hewlett Building, is that right?
Yep.
And they're telling their folks, just call us and we'll book the ride for you. Stop by their desk and they'll book the ride for you.
Which is kind of the purpose of the question. I expect some of the same calls.
Great.
In the middle of the night, we're gonna go online, but if it's business hours, we'll call and try and help them out. Or if we have the phone, we could use it that way, because most everyone on duty has a phone, and it would be easy to download the app and hit it with a few clicks to backfill.
We will set up portals with these people. We'll contact them and see if they'll use that portals. And anybody else that wants a portal on behalf of another group or individuals, please let us know. We're happy to do that.
Yeah, he just stole my thunder. I was just gonna say the same thing. I was just, he stole my thunder. I was just gonna say the same thing. We set up a portal at BMH when we had it in Brattleboro, and we've set up portals in Windsor. So yeah, that's all. I was just gonna reiterate exactly what he said is whoever needs a portal set up with a human service agency, just contact us and we'll get that set up.
Go ahead.
Yeah, is this almost like the same way as like a con for a medical ride almost?
Is it like the same as calling for a medical ride? Yes, in the way that you have to make a reservation, but no, because you can make it the same day, 30 minutes before you want to go someplace. It's not like you have to give us 2 business days notice or anything like that.
And how does that work if you want to go to Claremont on those days? Is that basically you got to still go to the plaza, or how does that work?
So if you wanted to go outside of Springfield, you would still have to go to the plaza to catch that bus. Because this service is only going to stay in Springfield and in North Springfield. Any other questions you had your hand up, or you?
Yeah,
So-
I'm all set.
Hey, just a quick question. You're obviously going to need an address for pickup. Where I need to go on occasion is just over the border in Weathersfield on Route 5, but there is a big dirt pull-off just before that. Where I could walk from there to the location I need to go on Route 5, just over the Springfield border in Weathersfield. Would calling and saying, can you drop me off at the intersection of Route 143 and Route 5, which there's a big dirt pull-off there, and then I can walk 15 minutes up Route 5 to the address I need to go to. Would that suffice to say, or would I need a number to provide you guys with for a drop-off location and pick a return trip? Because right now it's just a big dirt pull-off, and it's convenient for a bus to pull into because there's state trucks there, town trucks and everything like that.
So if you don't have an address for something like that, I definitely would call in, because that would be something that dispatcher would need to geocode
Yeah.
the spot, and we'd have to give it like a name.
Yeah.
But yes, that's something.
It's easy enough to geocode because it's at the junction of Route 143, locally known as Skitchewan Trail, and Route 5.
Yeah, I know what
Right
you're
at
talking
that, right off there is a big, direct pull off.
Yeah, so
you would be willing, you can do that without saying 152 Route 5 or something like that. I can just say intersection of Route 143 and Route 5. Okay.
Yeah, so if something doesn't have an address, call into the office and we can put something together for that.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Okay.
Yep.
Do you have any expectation of expanding your radius outside of Springfield and North Springfield, just kind of coming from one of those human services agencies? And I know a lot of our folks are needing transportation outside of town for employment.
We
And preventing
yeah.
them away from doing that, so.
We don't. We have barely enough funding to do what we're doing here.
Right.
And the minute we go to other towns, it's more funding, it's more time, it's more vehicles, and we're just not there yet. So we've been asked the same question in Windsor. We have to stay within fixed boundaries. We're working with software that figures out algorithms, and we're working with grants and people who give us money to run the service, and we have limits. So unfortunately, nothing planned right now. On the contrary, we're trying not to cut any more routes because funding is being challenged. So, good question. We'll keep it. We'll keep letting us know what you're thinking, but not for the foreseeable future. Sorry.
No, that's totally understandable, and what I figured just felt they needed to get out of town sometimes.
Any more questions?
If I could just make a couple of comments, I'm trying to read what the audience is thinking. I'm not a mind reader, but I want everybody to know that what Sarah just walked through and what you've got a handout for is probably the most complicated way of booking a ride. And I don't want that to intimidate anybody to say, well, I gotta know all this stuff and do all these things to ride this thing. 90-something% of the people who ride our service in Windsor and who rode it in Brattleboro called Sarah. And they walk everybody through it, they set up a geocode for the first stop, and every time you call afterwards, it's gonna be there. So it really isn't that difficult, and I know it's hard with a handout and reading it and everything else, but the app is very logical, and Christine will show you the portal, but just don't want anybody to be intimidated by this. The people who are running portals, thank you, wonderful. After you book your first ride, you're gonna be an expert. Again, it's very intuitive. As Sarah said, write down that password, because if you don't write it down, you're gonna be asked for it the second time go through, and if you can't remember it, you're shut out of the system. So please remember to write everything down. It's what's a little bit different about this app than others that we're working with. And Sarah mentioned about being busy, and the service is first come, first served. So whoever makes a reservation first is going to get service when it's available. And we talk about, if my car breaks down or I forget to make a ride, reservation, I'll come and call. There's probably quite a few times we're going to be able to do that. There's going to be sometimes we can't do that. And so it's first come, first served. Book early, book often, and try to make sure that you need, if you're going to work or going to a certain place or school every day, that's a great time to just make a whole bunch of reservations and stay on it. So thank you. I don't mean to interrupt, but Christina.
What's the capacity, seating capacity of the bus?
Okay, so the seating capacity of the bus that we're going to be using is 12 to 14 passenger bus.
So if I'm working with families that have like 5 to 7 kids and it's after school hours, is the algorithm or the portal smart enough to be able to acknowledge that many passengers?
So the algorithm, yes, it will it takes the bus that we have for that service and we tell it how many seats it has available, and that's why when you're booking a trip, we ask how many people are going to be in that, because it will count how many seats and how many people it can fit in.
So there will be like a scroll down or something that will
Yep.
larger numbers.
You will have a scroll down. I think it's just a drop down, and you can add as many people as in your party.
Thanks.
And I think I remember from a previous presentation, children 12 and over don't have to be accompanied by an adult?
Correct.
Okay.
Children 12 and older do not have to be accompanied by adults. Yes.
Sorry, if there's a group pickup for people with different ending locations, what's gonna be the best way for booking that? Would you want it to be booked as a party of 3? Or do they all book separately and you guys connect the pickup locations from the same place?
So if you have a party that's getting picked up at the same address and they have different ending locations, they would have to book individually.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm gonna hand it over to Christine and she can go over the portal.
Another question?
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
So, did I understand correctly that this staff also works with the Micro-Moo in Windsor?
Yes, we work with the Micro-Moo in Windsor. The dispatch staff actually does everything for medical, Micro-Moo, all of it.
So, sort of to help bridge the barrier of perhaps getting out of town, would you be able to help riders navigate, taking the Micro-Moo to Springfield? Is there an area or transportation offered sort of between Springfield and Windsor that could close that gap?
Yeah, so you to get out of Springfield, you could take and use the Micro-Moo to connect to the commuter routes.
Yeah.
So you could say, hey, pick me up at whatever time to get you to exit. Are we at 7? We're at
Currently at 7.
Yes. So yes, you could take it down.
To like the Ascutney?
You would take it to exit 7, the park and ride.
Oh,
and then you have to grab the bus there to go up. There you go.
So you just got another handout, and this is gonna be the app on your smartphone or tablet. So I just wanna make sure that this is what everybody's looking at. The front page looks like a big kind of a screen of an app or a tablet. And so the first thing you're gonna do, and on the bottom of each page, it kind of has a quick little explanation of what you wanna do with the picture. So you're gonna wanna first go to the Google Play Store, the App Store on iPhone. I'm not an iPhone person, sorry. And download QRide. You'll see it's QRYDE Ride. And you wanna download the app for riders. There's a couple of options there, so make sure you download the app for riders. And as you flip the page, you're gonna see that once you open it up, similar to the portal is you're gonna have to sign up and create an account. So there's boxes that say log in and there's boxes that say sign up. And the first time you use the app, you're gonna wanna sign up. Next page will just kind of explain that when you sign up on a tablet or a cell phone, we are assuming that the tablet has a phone number associated to it. It wants to verify that you are who you are. So it will ask you for your cell phone number so that it can send you a code. I'm sure everybody's very familiar with the codes that come through now. So that's the first step. It's going to send you a verification code when you're trying to set up. And you have to copy and paste that verification code in and hit verified code. And then that should bring you to the screen that just is a basic screen for signing up. It'll ask you first and last name. I believe on the phone app you can create a user ID. And then email address and password. Same thing, make sure that you save and keep the user ID and password so that when you go to log back in, you have the correct information. Because we can reset that if you call in, but it just takes a little bit of time because we do have to contact the software provider to reset those for you, okay? So once you fill in your first, last name, user ID, password, email address, etc., there's a button that says Let's Go. And you just click the green button on the bottom that says Let's Go to successfully register. And then you're going to get a screen that has 3 little icons at the very top. On the very left, it looks like 3 straight lines. That's going to be your menu. In the middle, it's just going to say QRide, which is the community name, and the default logo on the right. It should also make sure you want to make sure you give permission to see your location settings, because if you don't have your location settings on, it's not going to work properly. So it needs to see your location setting. When you log in for the first time, you should actually see yourself on a screen, on a map with a little dot where you are. And then on the next page, you'll see a plus sign under the Q ride. And that's going to be kind of where you're going to navigate, adding trips, etc. But you can also see where it says future trips, past trips on this same menu. So that's gonna, if you already have trips booked, you hit future trips, you hit past trips, and you can see all of those in that menu as well. But if you want to book a new trip, you hit that plus sign, and that's going to bring you to searching for a community. It should automatically populate the Springfield community. If it does not, search Springfield, and it should bring up Springfield Microtransit. If you have trouble with that part, please call in and let us know so that we can help navigate and make sure that there's not a glitch on the app. But you'll see on the next page, it kind of shows you the different options that when we had, this handout was for Brattleboro, so you'll see that it would give you the option of Windsor or Brattleboro. You want to pick the correct option based on the town you're in. So you're in Springfield, it should give you a Springfield option, you click the Springfield community, and then join, and it should bring you, and it says congrats, you're a new member. And that way it just knows where you are and the territory you're looking to book within. And then it's just going to ask you to verify your name, first and last name. That's where it's going to then bring you to what street number, what street name, city, town, etc. for your ride. Once you've entered the details of your street number, street name, town, state, zip code, you're going to hit submit. And then it should give you a screen that looks like this. It's going to have a pink box of the town of Springfield and North Springfield. That's just going to show you the parameters of within where you can book your trips. Okay, so that's what the screen's going to look like when you open up the app. Once you're all signed up, once you've got your address in there and so forth. It's the zone, they call it, the map zone. And then from there, it's gonna, if you want to book a trip, it's pretty simple. It walks you through. It says enter pickup address, enter destination address, and then hit next. So say you want to go from the library to the high school, you'd say pickup address to the library, you'd say destination address to the high school, and you click the next button. Then it's going to walk you through your date and your time request. So on this screen, you'll see something that says single trip or reoccurring on the bottom of the screen. So if it's something that you want to make a reoccurring trip, that's where you would do that here. Yep.
So, say you're coming from the library to the high school, do you need to know the addresses, or is it like Google, I can just type in Springfield High School and it'll pull up the address?
So we repeat the question. Say if you're going from the library to the high school, does it know the address?
No,
do you need the address?
Right.
Or does it
because
work
Google
like
Maps, you just say Springfield High School and it pulls up the
correct.
address.
And so that's what my experience has been with the app, is you can type in Springfield Library and it will pull up the library with its address.
Okay.
And you confirm that that's the correct place. Then it'll ask depart at time, so your date, your time. So you want to pick up at 3 p.m. at the library. Your depart at time would be 3 p.m. and you hit next. If you had a reoccurring trip instead of a single trip, the next screen would then offer the different times of the week that you want to add that. If it's just a single trip, you would not see the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday option. So at that point, then it's going to ask you for trip details. There's a couple of asterisks next to funding source and trip purpose. Funding source, again, should only be one option, but trip purpose, as we previously discussed, we're trying to track data and kind of know what the service is being used for most. So it's going to offer, education, work, social, shopping. So if it's got an asterisk, it does want you to fill those out before it will let you move forward. If you do not fill those out, it will most likely not let you move forward. There's also another button on the bottom that says additional passengers on this trip. So that's where if you're booking it for a group and you need to add 3 or 4 people, you just you hit the drop down and it adds, like you could click up the number of people so that it knows. Then you click next. Right, funding source from the window, click next. And then as you get through the different trip purposes, on the very last section of it, when it does ask you for the additional people, if you have them, you can see where it'll say toddlers, youth, and so forth. And this is where there'll also be a section that if you have any mobility devices, that would be in this section as well. So if you want to add a passenger that may be using a walker, you would add it there. And that would note in the trip that you need a particular end of life service. And this one is incorrect. There's a page on here that shows the rider needs to be selected under on-demand, free demand response ride, this very last page. You can disregard that. That was in the previous software and it's not in this new update. So that will not show. This is a free service, so that's not on there. And then the final thing is book trip. You click a button and same thing as on the online portal, you wait for it to say schedule the trip and then it will give you a confirmation code. If you have an email address associated with these and you have your app and so forth, you can also always go, just like Sarah said, you can also go check your trips. If you have an email address associated with it, what I've seen when I've done it is I also get an email on top of what's in the app and the portal, and it just says your trip for this day is confirmed. So that's another option that you can go and double check that it has successfully booked. So if you're ever in question that you're not sure that it went all the way through, you can go check your email address for a confirmation. Yes.
How would the system handle if there was inclement weather and rides were canceled or rides were delayed? Does it give a notification?
How would the system handle if there's inclement weather? Would it give a notification if rides were canceled or delayed? The cancellations would generally only be done by the rider. It's very rare that we do not run service. We have trained drivers that are trained to run in inclement weather. We equip the vehicles with studded snow tires and so forth. So it's very rare that we would cancel that trip. If something happened that the road's closed, for example, and we can't get down that road, then it would be some kind of a notification, either a phone call or a text message or something like that.
Okay.
And then if riders need to cancel, we do recommend that if they have a trip and they wake up and it's snowing and they say, okay, I just don't want to go out in the snow, we do encourage people to really be conscious to actually cancel that trip so that it frees up space for other riders to book. Oh, both at the same time.
Doesn't matter, I can wait.
Go ahead.
I didn't see it in the app version where you would put a return trip.
That was my first question.
So I do know, sorry, let me repeat the question. She did not see where you could put a return trip in the app version. I do know that when I've booked it on the app as testing it, it does give that option. So it says recurring trip. There should also be a button that says round trip or one-way trip. So we'll test that when we get back again. I was actually playing with it this morning, and the Windsor one is showing that. So there should not be a problem with the Springfield app showing that because they're basically mocking the software. But we will know more Monday when it's live because until it's live, I can't see it on my phone. Chief. Bless you.
How much of this merges with this? So if I'm working with myself or someone else online, and then, okay, I have to switch gears because I catch up with them at the library, am I going to be able, is one system going to be able to represent the other? Can I look online for my app stuff, and can I look on the app for my online stuff?
So the question was, is one system going to represent the other? In other words, can you look online portal and on the app portal and see the same information? And if it is the same user ID and password, then yes, you will see the same information. So if you have an online portal set up at home and you book a ride at home and then you leave home and you go to the grocery store and you only have your phone on you, as long as it's the same account, then yes, you will see the reoccurring trips, you will see the past trips, you will see the booking trips, and you will see if you want to book a trip, you can book it as the same account.
Or when they call in, they can see what they called in.
And it also works when you call in. Sorry, there's two hands.
I just wanted to kind of delve into this gentleman's question about if you guys need to cancel or if there's a delay. I have had incredible luck with the Route 1 bus in Springfield. I think once it didn't pick me up at the end of May, and it was a mechanical problem I found out when I got on the bus later in the day. What time frame, what criteria do you use to decide to call someone, say, that bus is gonna be 5 minutes late, 15 minutes late, a half hour late? Are you guys just going by, okay, Steve has a pickup at 10 a.m., we're not gonna make it until 10:15 or 10:30? When would you guys let me know that you can't make it, or it's gonna be significantly delayed?
So the question was, how long of a time frame do we hold and when would we notify of a significant delay? The system works on a 30-minute either side. So, excuse me, so if you book a trip and you book to be picked up at 10 a.m.,
Yep.
in theory, we have until 10:30 to pick you up.
Okay.
We're hoping that it's not that long of a wait, and we're hoping it's going to be much shorter than that. But in theory, that's what the algorithm is allowing for.
Gotcha.
You could always call in if it's during the day and say, hey, my pickup time is 10 a.m., it's 10:15. Can you just let me know if the vehicle's on its way, how much more of a delay? And we're not 100% sure if we're going to be able to see the vehicle on the app. Sometimes, that might be an update to the newer version. But you will get, as we said, if you opt in, you will get some kind of a notification that the bus is on its way, it's within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever.
Gotcha.
So that would be very helpful. So I would suggest opting into that. I would also suggest if it's a very specific time you need to be somewhere, like you have an appointment that's strictly 10 a.m., say at Family Services, that you give yourself a 30-minute buffer and try to book it out. So it doesn't hurt to get there early, but that way you kind of allow for that.
Have you guys been pretty good at getting within that 30-minute time frame of
In
picking up
Windsor, we have.
where
Yes.
you're doing it?
Yeah, actually in Windsor, it's closer to like 5-10 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
But Springfield's different because it's geographically,
Yeah.
Springfield's just a much larger town.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're gonna have to see when we get going is, are we gonna be able to, meet the demand of the opposite sides of the town? Yeah. Oh boy, I think the very back was
Yeah,
first.
I was wondering, like, say if I set an appointment at 10, is that when I get picked up, or is that where my location, my destination is going to be at 10? Like, if I was going from the MOOver building to Shaw's, would I basically, if I set it for 10, is that the time basically would I be picked up at the MOOver building, or would that be the time that I would be at Shaw's?
So the question was, if I wanna book a ride and I book it for 10 a.m., is that the time I'm getting picked up, or is that the time I'm arriving at my destination? When you're on the app and you're on the portal, it actually has a drop down that says like a pickup time or departs at. In other words, what time do you want to get picked up from your current spot? So if you want to be at Shaw's, say at 10 a.m., I would recommend saying get a pickup at 9:30, because that way you have plenty of time to get picked up and get brought there and get dropped off. The next one,
So say you set a reoccurring ride to go to work Monday through Friday, but then you realize, oh, this date is a holiday. So in the reoccurring ride, is it possible to cancel just one ride? Okay, excellent.
So the question was, if you have reoccurring trips and then you realize one day is a holiday or one day you're not going to go to work, for example, can you cancel just that one day in a reoccurring trip? And the answer is yes.
Oh yes, kind of as a follow-up to the previous question, a couple of questions ago, I should say. Let's say we book a ride, let's say to go to Shaw's or to another, whatever. We need to be there at 10 a.m. Would be booking it at 9:30 pickup be adequate to get us anywhere within the town of Springfield, with the algorithm? In other words, could there be other rides that are kind of getting off, somewhere before me or after me or whatever that might cause a further delay more than 30 minutes?
So the question was, if you book a ride so say you want to be at Shaw's at 10, you book a ride to get picked up at 9:30, is 30 minutes enough time adequately to get to Shaw's by 10 if there's other riders on and off the bus in between? Algorithm-wise, in theory, yes, it should be enough time, but I think that's going to be a wait and see. If it happens to be a really busy time of day, that may be a longer than 30-minute delay to get back and forth. The way the algorithm is trying to work is it's trying to say that if you're going from here to Shaw's, anybody in between that, or close to that, obviously off the main corridor as well, would be picked up and dropped off along the way. It shouldn't pick you up and then turn around and go to the other end of town before it goes to Shaw's. But it is a software program, and so in theory, yes, you should be fine. There may be some hiccups with the algorithm as it learns the territory and all of the geocodes.
But nothing on the app like shows the route you're gonna take or anything like that, but it should be direct.
The app does not show the route you're gonna take. It's gonna just pick you up and try to get you to your point of destination within a certain amount of time. Yes.
Yes, I have a question. How many months do I ride with disabled like me?
How many months do you ride?
Yes.
There's no limit on months.
Okay, so like you can go every time?
So are you comparing it to, for example, our O&D rides and so forth have certain amount of medical trips per month? Is that what you're comparing it to?
I believe so.
Okay, so there's no limit on Microtransit. Anybody can use it for any purpose within the town of Springfield for as many times as you want. You can use it multiple times in a day, you can use it multiple times in a week, you can use it multiple times in a month. There's no limit on that.
Okay. And disability and medical too as well?
If you're in town Springfield, if your medical appointment is in town, so Dartmouth is different because that's out of Springfield. So that would fall under your other regular medical rides that you would call in for. But if you have something, if you live in the town of Springfield and you're going to the health center for something, that's all, you can use Microtransit for that as many times as you want.
Okay, thank you.
So if I need to go to the pharmacy and pick something up, it's in, out, I give money, out. Will the bus wait that 5 minutes, or should I schedule a pickup in 15 minutes, or how does that work?
So the question was, if you have a trip that you're just going into the pharmacy to pick up, a prescription and come back out, will the bus wait? The bus will not wait.
Okay.
You would book a trip there and book a return trip back.
Okay.
And I would say book it within 15 minutes if you think you're going to be able to get in and out.
Yeah.
If you can get in and out of the pharmacy in 15 minutes, that's awesome because I'm in my local pharmacy. But just do it that way. That way you already have your return trip booked. And it might work out that the way the algorithm works and the way that demand is, bus might actually wait because that might be its next pickup.
Right.
But just do it as a return trip at the same time. Otherwise, you would probably wait longer.
Gotcha. Thanks.
No other questions? So, as we've discussed, the app and the portal are supposed to be live for booking on Monday, the 10th. The call-in is obviously live for booking on Monday the 10th as well, as long as all of that is live. It may be that you could call in and they can book the ride and the portal and the app come on a little bit later in the day, so I would always recommend, especially for the first week, it's probably best, especially if you have questions about, what time I'm getting picked up versus what time I'm getting dropped off and stuff. Please just call in. Our dispatch team is amazing. They've been doing this for many, many years now with Windsor. They know it. They can help you. They can walk you through. Yes. Well, there was one in the back actually before you started.
Is there a phone number on any of these packets on where you call?
There's
at the office. Okay.
Yep, there is a phone number. So there's Microtransit handouts and brochures. I got mailed to everybody in the town, every mailing address in the town of Springfield. There's also those same brochures being distributed around the town, and there's also posters, and all of that. Actually, there's a poster right on the front door here that has our phone number on it.
Thank you.
Yeah, sir.
Also, can we install the apps now, or do we have to wait to the 10th?
Do you have to can you install the apps now or wait till the 10th? I would wait you can install the app, but I would wait if you want to, because then you're not gonna see the Springfield option until the 10th. So if you install the app out now, I don't want it to glitch on you, so, it might be better to wait till the 10th.
Might create a glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we just basically, if we get confused, just call and not worry about the apps?
If you get confused, can you just call and not worry about the apps? Absolutely. As Rennie said, 90 to 95% probably of our Windsor riders call in for their rides.
I'm not really that great with computers.
Where would we get a poster for our office across the street?
Where would we get a poster for our office across
Right
the
here.
street? Right here.
All right,
I got you, Matt.
love it.
Any other questions? So yeah, just a reminder, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, and this service is for anybody, for anything. There is no restrictions. It's not just for medical. It's not just for schools. It's not just for social. It's not just for shopping. So the hope is that this service is going to expand service to so many more people in the town of Springfield and North Springfield. It's not limited to the corridor. You can use it for anything. It's not limited to the amount of times you can take it. So for medical trips in town, it's great. So it's been a real big success, and it's been really welcomed in Windsor. We've been doing this for a few years, so it should operationally go pretty smoothly.
Don't jinx yourself.
Really.
I just wanted to, one other comment. We're treating everybody's information under the same parameters as HIPAA, correct?
Yes.
So I didn't want anybody to be nervous about, well, you're giving me all this, take all this information from me, what are you doing with it? I'm not doing anything with it except booking rides. We don't sell our database or anything like that. So I wanted to make everybody comfortable with that. The question came up earlier about if I have 5 people and they want to go, there may be times when that just isn't going to work. And we're going to be watching closely as to whether we have a big enough vehicle or whether we need to have another vehicle. So possibly we may hit the wall in a couple of months and say, we got to do something else because we're turning down too many rides. So if you find for your customers or yourself that you are hearing that they couldn't get through or they couldn't get through, give us a call. Please let us know. We can do a certain amount of that by taking a look at the database, but hearing from you is much more important. We can find out what times of day that's happening, who is going, what destinations. Very important that we hear from you as we go. And to remove, hopefully, or maybe even make worse, Christina's jinx. I don't think she put on. But, although we've been using the software for almost 3 years, and we've used it in 2 other locations, and we have a lot of confidence in it, you never know. So on Monday morning, if you go on and you can't log on or create an account, give it a day or 2. If you book a ride and something happens, give us a call if it doesn't work out. We may have a glitch here or there, we're not sure, but hopefully everything will go as well here as it went in other places. But as Christine said, it's a bigger town, more people. This is going to be a learning curve for us too, to some extent. So we appreciate your patience, and please keep us in touch. And thank you for coming there and all your support. Thank you.